Hi everyone. Okay, so this is my first video since the worst happened, since Ross died. Those of you who have been following my story on here and maybe on social media or in the news, on Saturday the 29th of July, with all of our family there, well, all of Ross's close family, me, his mum, his sister, his dad, and my mother-in-law's partner, Steve. We were all there, and it still doesn't seem real. It still doesn't seem like any of what's happened has happened. I'm sat in my front room. The girls are in bed. You know, I'm being contacted daily by journalists, and it's all over the news, and I'm getting thousands of messages. Lovely, you know, I'm getting flowers and cards and sorry for your loss, and it doesn't feel real at all. And I guess I know logically that he's died, but I think I know it's gonna take a long time for that to really make sense. That's the only way I can put it, that it will take a long time for it to make sense. And overall, I feel okay. Like, I'm crying and I'm laughing, and sometimes I'm okay, and I don't feel in the grips of despair yet. That may come. I'm not. I'm sure there's definitely this self-preservation level of denial, but I'm pretty sure that's normal. And just having to go on, but I'm not. I know so many of you have messaged and you care so much, and it's a lovely thing. And you know, I'm sure that there will be lots of you that will go, oh, she shouldn't be doing any kind of work, or she's on video and she should be just moaning and crying on the floor and hiding herself away. But that's actually not very useful for me at all. That doesn't help me to make sense of what's going on, and that's always something that I do. And so for you that are watching this, some of you will go, that would never make sense for me, and that's fine. But for me, writing and talking it out and putting it on video, writing it down, you know, whatever it is, I need to get it out. I'm a very open person, and some might see that as massive overshare, and I don't doubt that. And if the oversharing bothers you, then just switch off. It's dead easy. But for me, it maybe just helps me to sort of make sense of things, and the fact that many of you guys are messaging me and telling me that it has helped you, or it's helped you to have those painful conversations, then that's a good thing. And for every awful thing, there is something good to happen. And I've been lucky to see so much good over the last week. And I actually can't believe it's been a week, but yet being in the hospice seems like years ago. It's so strange. Me and Ross's mum went to pick up the death certificate on Monday, which was 2 days after Ross had died. We went back to the hospice. I'd been there for a month, barely left for a month. And it felt like I had been there 2 years previously. It's such a strange thing. Like, time makes no sense. And yeah. But I wanted to talk today about how I've been, you know, I'm dealing through all the normal death stuff, all the things that you have to do, all the paperwork, and being with the girls. And that's the most important thing to me. And what I realised is that in the back of my mind now, there's like two things happening. Like, I'm like, this is what you do when you're grieving, and this I'm letting myself cry, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm not trying to fight things. I'm totally accepting what has happened. And then on the other side, I'm like, but actually, like, the way I deal with things is different. I know that. I know it's not normal. And I'm not just talking about grief, I'm talking about all stuff. I go with my gut, and that's got me where I am today. Just giving stuff a go and working with my instinct and what seems to be right. Not always getting stuff right, but most of the time it's seen me right. And for me right now, just getting on with stuff feels right. It feels like the right thing to do. And I don't mean that in a stiff upper lip British, I'm just going to get on with things kind of way. Not at all. But we've lived with this for 3.5 years. And although we haven't lived with Ross being ill, we've lived with the knowledge that things could change. And I've lived with that knowledge, and the reality of it is heartbreaking, but it's not, you know, I'm not surprised that that has eventually happened. There's always been one half of me that has understood that may be the eventuality. It just has. I've had to do that. And so I've always lived with one eye on what may happen. And even though you never want to admit that, or you always live with hope, there is, the reality side where you have to go, but I have to make sure that we're going to be okay. And the good news is that we are going to be okay. And the girls are going to be great. We are going to do things not in spite of this, but because of all of this. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand, but the pain that I'm going through and that the girls are going through, we wouldn't ask for it, but it will make us better people. It will make the girls more empathetic, more understanding. And no, again, we wouldn't choose to have those things happen because we want Ross with us, but lots of good will come, and I will make sure of that. And the girls have been amazing. We spoke to them so openly about everything that they're dealing with it one step at a time, and I'm more than aware that this is not oh, that's it then, they're all sorted. Of course it's not, my God. And I know that every milestone there will be something. It will feel sad, it will feel painful, but I'm just keeping everything open to the girls and allowing them to talk, and we talk about Ross. And just like adults, nighttime is harder. You wake up in the morning and it's hard again because you remember that he's not here. And they've got all the same questions we have, only they're brave enough to ask them and brave enough to have those conversations. And we've talked through everything. We've talked about exactly how he died, what he looked like, the last breaths that he took, the last words that he said that I can remember. We've talked through their last moments. We've talked about the fun things about Ross. I've taken them to the crematorium to go through the funeral and what will happen at the funeral. And those girls are armed with knowledge, but they're also armed with the knowledge that they don't have to think about it all of the time, and that they can laugh, and that's okay. And even now, even at this early stage, and people said this would happen, but I thought it would be later on. But even at this stage, every time I'm doing something, I know what Ross would say, and that's comforting to know that. That is comforting, and I don't feel sad about that. It's just, I'm lucky that I had so much time and so many conversations with Ross. That's a good thing, that I know that in whatever situation, that I know what Ross would do. It's like one of those things, isn't it? Like, I know what he would do and what he would say. And I also know that he would think all this hype around and all the story and in newspapers and whatever, he would think, what a load of old bollocks, and who gives a shit about my story? Because that's who Ross was. And the past tense thing's hard at the moment, that's new. But we're okay, and I just wanted to sort of reach out and say I'm eating. I'm not sleeping very well at all, and that, that is what it is. I'm not amazing at sleeping anyway. I'm doing all the things, I'm doing what I should be. I'm resting, I'm doing things to distract. I feel like I'm okay. And I know that won't always be the case, and I'll probably get off this and burst into tears, but that's normal. My best friend died, like, of course I'm gonna feel sad. It would be weird otherwise. And I didn't want this to be a big crying thing, because I didn't, that's but then that's the reality, isn't it? I'm not okay all of the time, but I'm not sat here. Maybe seeing me is sometimes better for people, or hearing from me, because I don't really want to have big conversations with people right now. It's quite overwhelming. But I think sometimes just seeing that I am talking normally, I'm reacting normally, I'm not, I'm laughing still. I've just been watching some comedy. I'm okay. And I just want to thank you all for being amazing, and being so supportive. And fucking hell, we've raised over £10,000 for Mighton. I didn't even think that would. God, I put £2,000 down, and I thought that'd be amazing if we got that maybe at some point. You guys have flipping blown my mind. Over £10,000. That's incredible. That can do so much good, and that's just wonderful. Like, that's such a good thing. And yeah, you've all the offers of support, and those of you who've helped with the funeral and the flowers and the printing and arranging things, and just the amount of support. The funeral is Wednesday the 9th of August. That's next Wednesday, 3:45. It is open for those of you who know me or Ross and want to show respect. That's fine. There won't be space likely in the church. It's not church. Crematorium was so not into God. But I hope that we can give Ross a good send off, and and then that's it really. I think. Thanks for your support. I'm all right. We're gonna be all right, and that's it. I'm gonna go and have a bath now with candles. See, I'm doing all the good stuff. See you later. Peace.